Hello everybody, Renzo here. Let's paint a new portrait. Today I'm going to use just two colors, chrome green and Quinacridone rose. Okay, let's see what we can get. Now when we work with a limited palette, obviously we reduce a lot of the options, and what happens that we are able to pay more attention, okay, to values, shapes and form. Okay, fewer colors, just do that all the time. That's why we prefer always when we training, when we practicing, start with limited palettes. And at the same time, every decision becomes intentional when we have to work with limited palettes. Okay, I want to start just sketching. Okay, just 1 second please, my camera has moved a bit. Okay, there. Okay, I need some willow charcoal. Let's see, I'm gonna place the whole head here. For drawing, I prefer always just simple straight lines. And that way I just place the whole head on my canvas really fast, and then I see if I should move it to the left, to the right. I think it's okay. Yeah, maybe the head is too big. Let's see, this is gonna be here, all this is gonna be here, and the face is gonna be just here. Yeah, looks like the face is just smaller portion and we have a big head. I want to show you the images that I use. I got this one, I created with Photoshop. Okay, there is some filters on Photoshop that give you some options to create images like that. Okay, and then I use this one. You know, I keep saying squint down your eyes to see darker values, but this photograph is pretty light. Okay, this last one is what we try to see when we squint down our eyes. Okay, and then I keep this photograph just here with me, and that way I can just be sure where is the light, the shadow, midtones. Sometimes, and this is because this photograph especially is pretty light. Okay, but when you work with a more photograph that has a lot of contrast, you don't need any extra photograph. But in case you're practicing, this could be a good idea just to have more options. Like a black and white photograph is a good option. Okay, why? Because we just pay attention to values. We don't see any color on a black and white photograph. And remember that, you know, you can have really, if you got the values pretty good, you can just add any color. You know, it's gonna work. That's a phrase. I don't remember the phrase. It was something like, you get the values right, you can commit crimes with color, and it's gonna work. Okay, I think I need to move the head a little bit up. I'm gonna move everything a little bit up. This here, the proportions. You know, I always use the Loomis proportions. The distance from the eyebrows to the nose, I repeat the distance to the bottom of the face, to the bottom of the chin. I split this in two, and usually that's the bottom of the mouth. It means I can see the mouth here. I split this in three portions, and usually I can see the eyes on this line. Okay, it's pretty simple, and I have a video about the Loomis method, and obviously that's a really old method. You can find a lot of information on Google. Okay, I got my sketch. Let's see. Hello Shiny Pirate. Hello Lone. Lone is saying hi from Denmark. Hello Marius. Hello Manuel. Hola Manuel. Hello Ray Jai from Georgia, USA. Hello, Nolan. Okay, let's see what we can get with this color. First, let's see, maybe it could work if I separate the colors of my palette in 3 portions. Let's see, I was thinking to separate my palette in 2 portions, but maybe 3 portions is gonna be good. Let's see, okay? Now, obviously, with Quinacridone rose, with white, we just have a pinky color. Look at that. More white we add, a lighter pinky color. Kind of simple. Okay? Obviously, we knock down this color when we add a touch of green. Okay. Now, another thing that's pretty important when we work with limited palettes, okay, is just we're gonna pay attention to these subtleties, okay? Since we don't have more options, okay, look what happens here. It looks like a skin color. No, it doesn't look like a skin color. Okay, we're gonna just to stay a bit more time mixing the colors. A bit more of this, a bit more of the other one. The illusion that we're gonna create here is it depends on the background, depends on the face. It depends on just getting the skin color with these two. It's everything working together, okay? Because if you think that you're gonna get a skin color with these 2 colors, we're gonna get something closer, but it's not gonna be perfect. We're not gonna copy the skin color we see on the picture. No, there's no way. Okay, hello Max. Hello MF. Hello Max from Munich. Okay, what about green? Okay, let's put green here. What you have with green, look at that. Yeah, pretty nice. This is something that I'm gonna use maybe for the background or for the lights. In here, that's gonna be the darker color we can get, which is not too dark, to be honest. Okay, we add a little bit of white, and let's see what happens. Becomes like purple. If we add more green, becomes kind of brownish. Yeah. Now you see what's gonna happen. There's gonna be a lot of subtleties. Oh, for the ones that wants to see the photograph that I showed at the beginning, yeah, all of them are on my Patreon account. You don't need to pay anything. You just go to my Patreon and join as a free member. Okay, you're gonna find the video there, and the photographs are attached in case you wanna practice with the video and the photographs. Okay, let's see. Let's start just mixing 1 colors. Since it's gonna be pretty difficult to see the values, that's when I use a photograph like this. You can see so clearly where's the light, the midtones, and the shadows. And this one is darker. It's gonna show me too about the values. Okay. Now, if we don't have this, the only thing that we do is squint down our eyes. Just that. And we use the knowledge we have about primary forms. For example, if I just see the face and I think, hey, where's the light coming from? From the right, okay? It means there is light here and there's gonna be shadow here because the face has to turn, yeah? That's the logic thinking about a primary form. Now, I'm gonna use a little bit of linseed oil, and I need to start with a mixture between the 2 colors here. Because, I mean, this and this is just like, oh, I forgot to do something here to see some variations of the green when I add red. Okay, no green or rose, look at that. I suggest you do that. You do this on your palette. That way, if you spend more time, you can get more and more color variations. That's what we need to, let's say, to understand all the possible combinations from these two colors. Okay. Now I got a color that looks like a mid-tone for the face. Let's see, the face is pretty light. Okay, I got this one. I can use this one for the light on the face. Okay. It's gonna be a pretty good exercise. Yeah. I'm excited about how it's gonna look this portrait at the end. Anyway, we learn always something when we practice with limited palettes. And it's gonna push you just, to mix better, to improve your mixing, because you're gonna be more like this, a little bit of quinacridone rose, a little bit of green. That's what you're gonna look for, those subtleties. More of this, more of the other one, lighter, darker, grayish, greenish, reddish. We don't have too many options. That's pretty good. Just an exercise. Remember, you know, you don't push yourself to create a masterpiece. Get the best of this. That is value control. You control values. You control form. Okay, if you got that, you're gonna see a face. Okay, hello Sylvia. Hello lads. Hello Jean Louis. Let's continue. I'm gonna pick up another brush. I'm gonna mix one more color, which is gonna be a bit darker. Okay, I'm gonna mention the colors again. This is chrome green and quinacridone rose. If somebody wants to practice with the same colors, this one is from Winton, this one is from Rembrandt. Oops, I think I added too much white. My intention is to get a color that is darker than this one. A little bit of linseed oil. I think it's too dark. I'm gonna add a little bit of white. I need more linseed oil. Just 1 second. Okay, I got more linseed oil. A bit more green to gray down the color. I need to mix more paint. Okay, I forgot to paint the nose. If the light is coming from here, obviously there's light here. Remember the planes of the face, and light here. Okay, that's one side of the nose, and the frontal plane of the nose is gonna be in shadow. Okay. I'm bouncing my eyes between the photograph and my painting. Okay, more paint. Little bit of linseed oil. So many times I haven't used linseed oil. It just depends on my paints. Okay. This green, I have this tube for a long time. That's a color that I don't use so often. I think I have it for more than 2-3 years. Look at the stage. Okay, and I have to use linseed oil because of that, because a little bit sticky. Okay, now the darker color I can get with this, obviously, is just mixing Quinacridone rose and green without any white. Hello, Eric Witten. Hello, Eridi. Hello, Aaron. Aaron is asking me if I do a study on previously on Photoshop. Oh, creo imágenes en Photoshop. I created a couple of more images on Photoshop. But studies like, hello Jonas, like studies like sketching on Photoshop. No, I don't do anything. Okay. No, just that. Just I create these two images. I'm gonna show it again for everybody. These two. Basically, to see more clearly all the values on the pictures. Okay, that's what I do on Photoshop, and I have all those photographs here on my screen. Okay. Okay, let's pick up the darker color, which is gonna be kind of brownish, reddish brownish, because if I add more green, I'm gonna light up the color. This Quinacridone rose is darker than the green. To see the green more clearly, I'm gonna put it like this. Okay, that's the green. I think we can see the green clearly when it's flat like that. The same for this one. Yeah, it's because of the light I have here that's coming from top. I'm gonna clean my brush. Now about the background, I have just two options. Well, let's say I have three options. One option that's gonna be just green. What about using pure green? Okay, or a lighter green to make it the face a little bit darker. What's gonna happen? The face is gonna look a little bit reddish. Okay, why? Contrast, simultaneous contrast. Pretty sure you all are tired of me just repeating the same. But simultaneous contrast is pretty important. Because of that, we can just change how the color looks. Okay. Now, if I paint the background with Quinacridone rose, what I'm gonna get? Okay, I'm gonna get a greenish face, a grayish face. Okay. Oh, sí, eso es correcto, Aaron. Okay, let's continue. Well, I've been just moving the photographs here, and I close the one that I'm painting from. Okay, here it is. Okay. Now, let's paint a little bit of the hair. Okay, when you're practicing, don't worry about the color you see right now. You gotta practice patient. You gotta be patient, okay? Because you cannot judge one color just by itself. You gotta check out all the colors together. Remember that each color affects the other one and the other one and the other one. Look at that, too reddish. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of this color. I'm gonna put it here, okay? And just more green and way more white. Still too reddish. I'm gonna clean the brush. Okay, if you want to, if you feel that, hey, it's so tricky, this, you can add one more color that so many people don't consider a color. That would be black. Okay, ivory black or lamp black. Black, it has kind of a dark blue. That means it's gonna give you more mixtures. But if you want the full challenge, the full practice, I would suggest just to stay with just these two colors and white. Now, it's gonna be tricky, but it's gonna be pretty good to improve your abilities of mixing colors and paying attention to values. Okay. Maybe you're gonna feel the frustration, but that's good. That's gonna be pretty good. Okay, I got here the hair. I forgot to paint the ear. Let's paint the ear. The ear is a little bit pinkier, always on every portrait. Maybe that's too pinky. It doesn't matter. For the shadow here, I could just I'm gonna just mix this with a touch of green, just a touch. And the shadow is around here. Okay. And some cast shadows from the hair. I could paint those cast shadows with this color too. Now we can if I want to knock down this color, just a bit more green. When you're practicing, I recommend just think that it's just one more painting. And that way you relax and enjoy the process. Okay, I mean not the process that I'm here painting, the process when you try to paint with limited palettes. Now, what would you suggest? A reddish background or a greenish background? Hmm? Okay. Hello, Guriakur. Which colors are oil? Okay, it's oil. I'm gonna repeat the colors. It's on the title, but this is chrome green and quinacridone rose. If you don't have quinacridone rose, you could use alizarin crimson. And if you don't have this green, you can use sap green, which I think is much better because it's darker. Okay, what would you suggest? Red and green. Remember, if you add green, everything's gonna become reddish. I mean, it's just subtle. It's subtlety. It's something subtle, but that's what happens. If I add red, everything becomes green and greenish. I mean, green, reddish, the opposite color. Okay, let's think about that. That's gonna be the best option. Okay, if I want something more colorful, I think green. That's gonna create a lot of contrast. Okay. If I make it red, the face is gonna look grayish, but that is gonna give me a possibility of add more red to the face, and got some highlights, some greenish highlights. Okay. Now, I'm thinking in that way. You know what I'm thinking. I'm speaking out loud my thoughts and how I think about contrast. Okay. Look at that. If I just mix a lighter green, I can use it for the highlight. Okay. Now, how this highlight is gonna glow more if it's surrounded by a reddish color. Okay. If the background is reddish, these greenish highlights are gonna glow a bit more. Okay. If the background is green, I'm gonna need. I have the possibility to add even more greenish highlights because I have the same color. Or what about a darker color like this one? Just darker color to make the face look lighter. Okay, the photograph is just white, but there's no need for us to copy the photograph. We need to add some color. We don't have too many options. Okay. Yeah. Now, the thing is that I remember I have painted a bit with digital paintings with Photoshop, and I missed how easy it is just to make correction, change backgrounds, and just see things. Here is we need to just our imagination, and it's pretty hard to know what's gonna happen. The only thing that is in my head, just trying to kind of look in my thoughts, in my memory, situations similar like this one. What was the outcome? And I don't have too many memories about painting with green and red. I have painted before like this because limited palette is part of training for painters. Okay. Okay. Let's think about it. What about no white like the photograph? Red. It's gonna knock down the red, but yeah. Okay, one possibility about using quinacridone rose is that it's transparent. Okay, it means that if I add more linseed oil, I can have some really transparent reddish color, which is going to be beautiful. Yeah. The only thing that is gonna just glow a lot. Which one is gonna glow more, green or red? What about if I paint a little bit of green here? That way we see. I mean, at the end, there's gonna get those colors are gonna get mixed because obviously it's not about painting the background just one color, just one flat color. Look at that. And green, I think, is just possible to pick up green with a palette knife and put it really thick. Oof, I got a little bit of the red here on the palette knife. It's not, that means it's not clean. But look at that. Or maybe both. Why not? Yeah? A little bit of one, a little bit of the other one. Yeah. Right, Ray J saying doesn't red and green make brown? Yeah, brown. Yeah, but if I add brown, it's gonna be just too monochromatic. I need to use, you know, I got a pure green that's pretty bright. I need to use it in some areas. Okay, and I need to use a pure alizarin crimson. Hello, Michael. Still thinking. Yeah, but it's pretty amazing how color works. Yeah? If I add red here, green, sorry, all this area is gonna look a bit reddish. Okay. Here with Quinacridone rose, all this area is gonna look a little bit greenish. I mean, it's subtlety. I don't think that's gonna, some magic is gonna happen. It's gonna look completely green. No, I'm speaking about simultaneous contrast. I think I like more the green. Yeah, since the face is gonna be a little bit reddish, the green is gonna be, it's gonna add more contrast. Yeah. I mean, it's not gonna be flat green. Yeah. It's gonna be more. Here it's gonna be pretty good. It's gonna get mixed here. I'm gonna have one more color. Look at that, this brownish color. Yeah, if there you have a color that you don't like, just wipe off. Don't worry. Don't feel guilty about wiping off the paint, or use a palette knife. It's okay. Wow, look at that green. Okay, I'm gonna add more of this green. I'm gonna see if I need to knocking down some areas. Okay, here for example, knocking down or light up. Look at that. When I add white, looks like a really bright green. I'm thinking that maybe I should have this bright green here and knocking down the green here. I mean, that's the focal point. Okay, I don't need something that bright, just glowing here. Yeah, that's better. Thinking about my focal point, the face is always the focal point. I've been trying to balance, things out here. Okay. Now the hair is white. What if I just make maybe the background darker here, green, and darker here. Here's the darker color I can get. Okay. Now I'm thinking out loud. I'm not doing right now what I'm thinking. It's just me kind of trying to force in what's gonna happen with the colors and contrast. And we gotta think in terms of basically contrast, And we just have two colors here, red and green. Okay, now I got the background. Kind of, let's say, in my head, I was thinking more about the bright green. But I got this, and I think it's gonna work. Okay, let's work on some details on the face, and then I'm gonna add some lights on the face with a little bit of green. Okay, I see light here, light here. Okay, another thing I see, I'm gonna pick up pure white. White here, the light that is here. Oh, it's more the diagonal, goes like this. Okay. Oh, where's the brush for green? Okay, here's the brush. A little bit of green here too. The brush. See, hello Simus. Hello Air Plato. Okay. Marius is saying okay, Marius is saying I don't get it. Okay, let me. Oh, Marius is asking, I'm facing an issue. I'm trying to paint Virgin Mary, and it's so difficult to make the halo. Any ideas? Even if it's a cycle, it's so difficult for me to make it perfect. Oh. Okay. Yeah, let me think about. I don't know. I mean, I remember. I came to my mind. One of my friends once cutting a piece of paper, like on an oval shape to get the perfect halo around the head. Yeah, I think that worked. That worked pretty good for him. That's the only thing I remember. You can try. You can try that. Huh? I hope that works. Mm-hmm. I'm missing a darker color here to get more contrast. I'm moving back and forth everywhere, because I'm checking the drawing at the same time that I'm trying to get subtlety variations with green and, and red. Okay, for example, for the mouth, I can use this more pure pinky color. Okay, remember why is important about mixing colors, because when you don't have too many options. You gotta just think more about all the subtle variations that you can get when you mix the colors. A bit more green, maybe that was too much. A bit more white, and there has to be pretty subtle options because there is no more. I'm pretty sure if you practice with this, when you have a full palette with 20 colors, okay, it's gonna be easier just to know which colors to pick up. I have another video where I painted with blue, burnt sienna, and white. Let's say that we have always few more options. Okay. And clean the brush before I pick up more paint. Feel free to ask me any question. Okay, now I need a bristle brush. I want more paint on the face, especially for a lighter color like this. Okay. Okay, another bristle brush, and let's pick up this lighter pink. Okay, more white, just pure white. I'm gonna add some green later on and some pink, but right now I just need pure white. I need to see the color here, okay? Really thick. Hello, Florence Neil. If you want to see recorded lessons here on YouTube, you can just join as a member. Okay, and your name is gonna be like you see on the comments, the name of Florence in green. That means that he's sorry, Florence. She's a member of my channel. Okay, let's try to get a darker green. I think that's gonna be the darker one I can get. A little bit of linseed oil or paint. Just being careful, you add more red, and I gotta say between this, the Quinacridone rose is pretty powerful. It could be because of the brand. I think it's because of that. This is Winton. Winton is weaker, the pigment, and Rembrandt, which obviously has more pigment. Even that Quinacridone rose is a transparent color. You know, is more. It has more saturation than this green, which looks on the palette really, really bright. I'll try to get a more greenish color here, a little bit. Okay, with a lighter color. And this pinky one here. That was too pinky. Just a touch of pure white. I need more light here. A little bit of green. And a little bit of pink. Okay. And add more white here. Like I said before, it's not my intention to have a background just with one color. We need to add some variations all around the background. It could be lighter, it could be grayish, it could be darker. Okay. One thing is about the edge. Here I need to break up the edge. Below arms. Oh, yes, it's oils. Need to clean this brush. When you practice with a limited palette, like this one, or the other one I have on my channel, that's ultramarine blue, burnt sienna and white, and then you move to practice with the sword palette, you're gonna feel that the sword palette has a lot of colors, that you can have a lot with the sword palette. Yeah, but that's pretty good, but you need to practice with more limited palettes to have that feeling that you're having a lot with the sword palette. Otherwise, you're gonna get the feeling that you're not getting what you want because you weren't able to compare what the limited palette really is. I got impure, at least in crimson here. I'm gonna work on edges, soften a little bit here. Here I need a touch of green. A bit more saturated green there. I see a reflected light. It's pretty subtle, but it's just here. Yeah, it's there. Here's the eye. Too difficult to keep my hand steady on this position. A little bit of green. greenish color. A little bit of red. This brownish color. Uh, Aram's YouTube is saying, I saw your acrylic portraits, they were superb. Oh, thank you. I wonder if I then follow your limited palette class with acrylics. Yeah. Yeah, limited palettes are just good for everything, you know, for oils, acrylics. Now remember that when we don't have too many options, like in this case, what happens is that we pay more attention to those subtle variations that we got when we mix here. We try to get the most of this. Now, what's gonna happen? Maybe you're gonna feel that you cannot get enough. Maybe you're gonna feel frustration. You're gonna miss all the other colors. But remember, it's just a practice. It's not about creating a masterpiece. It's about just being aware that when we just have some limitations about mixing colors, okay, we try to find the balance. And the balance is that we pay more attention to values. It's not necessary that you do something like consciously, okay, you're not maybe fully aware that what's happening, but when we paint a portrait, okay, we try to get proportions, values, color, edges, all of that. If we simplify one of those, we move the attention to the other things that we need to accomplish. Okay, edges, values. And that's exactly what happens when we work with a limited palette. Okay, that's something that could be pretty close to what is drawing. When we draw, we don't use any color. What happens when you're drawing, when you're not using any color? Where are you paying attention to? Values. Okay, when we don't have too much experience and we have a lot of colors, the first thing that we try to do is match the skin color. Sometimes we are on a stage that we don't full control values, and we just thinking about matching colors. Matching colors are crazy, and I'm saying that because that was the same for me. You know, while my teacher was speaking about values, in my brain I was just thinking about matching colors. I was running from my easel to the model's face with my brush or a palette knife and put it really close to the face. to see if the color was okay. Not realizing that it wasn't just about the color, it was about, the relationship that exists between one color and the other ones, and how dark and how light is that specific color that I'm trying to match. And the only thing that to get that is just always not checking, just like I used to do with my palette knife, checking if the color here was the same. It's always the relationship between one and the other colors. Always. It's always that. Okay. Somebody tagged me today on, oh my god, where was, oh, it was in Instagram, I think. Yeah. Oh my god, I don't remember the name, but this person painted the portrait that I painted a week ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago, with another limited palette. That was pretty good. The result was pretty good. Now, when it's about a little bit of anatomy, remember that we got this highlight obviously because we're working on a rounded area. Here there is a highlight because that's the nasal bone. Here there is a highlight. Why? Because of the cheekbone is here. Okay. Now here's the cheek. Here there's a bump because all the muscles from the face, from here, from the cheekbone and from the mandible goes to this corner. Okay, and because of that we're able to move the mouth, and you all are able to move the mouth and say all the beautiful words that came out from your mouth every day, and we're able to eat and all of that, Okay, that's why we have a bump here. There is a little bit of light here because there's a bump. Here the same, light here. Now we are just thinking about those lights and highlights. Remember that there is a difference between those highlights. I recommend to my students just to have always a value scale. It's not like we're going to use a value scale every minute to check out the values. It's a reminder that all the values that you see are different, that this highlight has to be different from the highlight on the nose and from the highlight here. And I mentioned that because it's a common mistake, just paint a highlight really bright, for example here that I'm painting now, and then paint the same highlight here and the same highlight here. One has to be lighter and the other one follows, like just the same that you see on a value scale. Okay, that's why I recommend using a value scale. Obviously you can use the value scale to compare to, all the values from the photograph, from the values from your painting. And if you have more order than me, you can just move from this reddish color, this quinacridone rose, to green, and here from green to quinacridone rose, and here in the center that would be your grayish colors, darker and grayish colors. That would be the full mixture between both. quinacridone rose, and chrome green. Okay, how this is different from painting just with black, white, and black? Oh, white, black and white, it doesn't have any color at all. We here at least have few colors. Yeah. Um, okay, light green again here. Remember that you need to add a little bit of light red too here. Both share the same area. More white. Here there is light. That's the mandible. Okay. Here there is a little bit of a shadow. Why? Because that's the base, or let's say the bottom of the cheekbone. Okay. Now I could use a bright quinacridone rose for the shadow here. The ear. Okay. A little bit of this one here too. And the mouth. If somebody wants to experiment more about what you can get with these colors, you can add black to the palette. You're gonna get way more color variations. Mm-hmm. This chrome green is pretty beautiful. Imagine just this chrome green on painting landscapes, adding some touches. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna break up an edge here. Gotta soften an edge here. Soften an edge here. Have a sharp edge just here. Let's see, I need the background for that to see the edge. There. Okay. Now I could soften this edge, and I could soften this edge even more. I can even do something like that, kind of break up the shape, the form. Okay, the same here. more green. Lon is saying, hi Lorenzo, and I'm also a patron member, but I don't see a star like Florence Near. Oh no, there are two different things. Florence Near is a member of my YouTube channel. She has access like maybe right now 10 recorded lessons from Patreon. Okay, but since you're a member on Patreon, you have access on Patreon to the recorded lessons on Patreon. And I just picked up a few of them from Patreon and put it on YouTube for members. On YouTube, I don't know, I think it's just $2 per month, or maybe, I think maybe $3. Yeah. And Patreon is a little bit more because obviously there are more videos. Yeah. Yep, just that. That's the difference. Yeah. Let's say that you join now on as a member on YouTube. You're gonna see maybe some of the videos that you already have seen on Patreon. And let's say that Florence just joined my Patreon. You know, she's gonna see way more videos. You know, on Patreon I have like more than 200 videos. Okay, I gotta step back, check out, think about all the subtleties that I see here that maybe I need more green here. Oh, gotta be sure that the value is okay. And at the same time, you all can join my Patreon. Remember, you can join for free, and there are 5 recorded sessions from Patreon there for free. Obviously, you can stay for free forever, or you can just join on a tier to paint along. We paint Fridays. We paint live. I have a live paint along session on Fridays. We paint still life, landscapes. You know, we don't paint portraits because that tier is just $4. Yeah. And it's kind of similar what I do here. The difference obviously is that is live. I mean, I see you on the camera, and you're able to ask me for a critique just there directly. You know, I can see your painting, which makes pretty good. It's almost pretty close to what would be a real class. And you just do it from your house. Today we have drawing at night. You know, I try to keep practicing at the same time that I'm teaching. Here we have a core shadow. If you have a sphere, or to print out a sphere with all the midtones and shadows, you're gonna see what I'm speaking about when I say a core shadow. A reflected light is to create the illusion of roundness, to create the illusion of three-dimensionality. Like it. Since I'm not able to just match any color, I gotta pay attention to all the possible values. That's pretty nice if we can just add a little bit of saturation on some shadows just by adding pure Quinacridone rose. If you like what I'm doing, please don't forget to press the like button. And another thing that I'm doing right now is preparing my own canvases. I'm preparing canvas pad, canvas pad, you know, 10 sheets. You can find the link on the description box. If somebody wants to buy my own canvas, I prepare them myself because I just love to have the right amount of gesso. And what I'm doing, I'm adding a first layer of, I don't know if somebody knows that's what, and I don't know if the translation is okay, but I prepared my first canvases with an old formula that was rabbit glue. I don't know if somebody have seen that. And what we do with the rabbit glue is we just it's just like a little tiny what do you say, petals, but brown, transparent brown petals that you need to heat to make it liquid. And with that, you add the first layer to the canvas. Okay. Now I'm telling you that maybe somebody wants to do it, but that's how I prepare my canvases. And then I add a layer of uh, color. I tone the canvas with acrylic. Yeah. And what I mean, if somebody wants to support my channel, maybe you can just buy the canvases. I don't have like a bunch of them. So I just prepare them as people buy me. The link is there. The price is there. Look at how I'm switching between, pink and green. Trying to create a little bit of contrast. What do you think about the background? Is okay green, or should I paint it? Maybe darker. Somebody suggested a darker background. I like the green on the hair. I would love to try the same colors, but adding one more. A little bit of contrast here, top of the head. A little bit of this pink. Just there, more white around the head. I'm going to create more contrast. Adding lights with green. And softening some edges. If I soften this edge, the nose is gonna look like it's coming forward. Here at the bottom of the nose, soften the edge. The bottom lip, can soften the edge here, but keep it sharper on the bottom lip. I think I'm getting to the end of this practice challenge, whatever it is. Okay, I'm almost done. Just thinking, what else? What do you think? Any question? I gotta go. I think, my eyes go to the green here. I like it, but it's just like I was trying to balance the color out by putting this pink, yeah, but still, it's just like this green. It feels too bright. I'm knocking down with a little bit of white. Okay, the same way that I have some soft edges on top of the head, here I need some sharp edges, sorry, on the top of the head here, and here I need some soft, kind of lost edges where I don't see anything. And the same is for here, this area, a little bit of green next to the red. I'm gonna zoom in just to see. Okay. Okay. Oh, Steve is asking me, what do you think about the golden section in art? Oh, that's pretty good, but in my case, it's just portraits, but this for, let's say, bigger compositions where you have more elements, more figures, and for the people that doesn't know, it's just the golden ratio is. I have read maybe, and I don't know if that's true, but it's just a perfect rectangle, and the simplification of this golden ratio that you can find out there is on the cameras, the photo cameras. Okay, I don't know if you have seen on some cameras there is on a couple of lines, horizontal and two verticals. Okay, let's say that's the golden section, and on where those lines cross, this two and this two, those four spots are just places where you can place any object and the balance is going to be perfect. There are so many images that shows that. It's not that simple, nothing is that simple on painting, but at least if you find something that is easy to understand, it's gonna be better, because from there you grow, you develop. But if you find some information that's from the very beginning is pretty tricky, that's gonna be difficult to follow, to understand. It's just like reading a book that it could take you, maybe years. Okay. If somebody wants to practice composition, you gotta just dip into the golden ratio, golden section, all of that. The golden rule. People used to call it the golden rule. It's pretty interesting. It's a lot, but it's pretty good. It's a lot of information, but Okay. I'm softening some strokes here. I like them, but I'm just thinking about balance, movement here, softness here, strokes here, quiet in this area. Okay, where I need some sharp edges, where I need some soft edges. Okay. Where I need some broken edges. Okay, I hope you like it. I hope you practice with this, and that would be for today. There's not too much that I can do. That's the good thing, it's kind of a good and a bad thing. It's like you want to do more, but yeah, that's you stop because there's not more. I mean, I've been trying to get all possible values, and yeah, I think obviously for me it's impossible for anyone to get all the values, subtle values that moves from light to shadow to represent the proper volume for to see that beneath this is there's a bond structure and all of that. But I think I got enough. About color, what I did is try to put green and red together in different subtle tones. Like there's green here, there's pink, green, a lighter green, a lighter pink. Okay, a touch of pink on the eye. Yeah, I mean that's and we can do too much about that. That's the beauty about a limited palette. Hope you like it, and I hope you give a try to this. Okay. Take care, you all. Thank you for being here, and see you next week. Yeah. Don't forget to press the like button if you didn't press it yet, and you can share the video. Yeah. Take care, everybody. Thank you for being here. Bye. Just that. I have to add a tiny touch. Okay, bye.